Hello, darlings. Welcome to Text Live, aka Talk About Gay Sex, the live edition. This is episode 440. I'm your special guest host, Kodi Maurice Doggette, filling in for Stevie. He's on a Vakaya cruise, living his best life. I had a call with him earlier, and he is definitely living his best life. I'll let him fill all of you in. And I know he's praying for me that I don't fuck this up, girl, because we're going to see how this turns out today. I can't wait to see. So my special guest host, my Girl Friday for this week, is Teddy Alexis. He's been on the show before as a guest, but now he's with us as a special guest host. He's a filmmaker. He's in Daddy Date, the play in downtown LA, and he's a huge supporter of the podcast. So we're so happy to have him with us. Welcome, Teddy. How are you doing this evening? And are you going to help me? Hey, baby. Are you going to help me keep this boat afloat?
Oh, we're gonna try. We're gonna try for sure. I didn't even play it cool. When you texted me, I texted you back like, hell yes, I'm gonna help you.
I love it. I love it. Well, you were on a very short list, so I'm so glad you were able to do it. So thank you so much, babes.
This is my Oscar moment. Love it.
You like me. You really like me. How was your Valentine's Day, honey? It was just yesterday.
Yeah, sadly I didn't do anything. I was teaching, and I told my students that we were gonna have a short lab, and of course I cursed it because we had so many technical problems that we had to stay extra time. So I messed up Valentine's Day. I know. But maybe next week I will have a makeup Valentine's Day. We'll see.
I think I need to have a makeup Valentine's. I think I might need to have a makeup Valentine's Day too, because it was not everything I imagined it to be. But every day is a new day to show somebody that you love them. And I think that too much pressure is being put on Valentine's Day nowadays anyway. So I'm gonna have a good makeup Valentine's Day, and I'm gonna have all the sex. So
I agree. Also, what's a Tuesday? Like, that's kind of like a downer. Like Valentine's Day on Tuesday.
I mean, I'm ready to do it every single day of the week. So I was ready, and then it didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out.
I was off-ramping you. I was doing you an off-ramp, and you were like...
No, honey. I am down for the get down. Thank you very much.
On-ramp all the time. Got it.
Thank you very much. Well, speaking of Valentine's Day and love being in the air, did you know that Miss Argentina and Miss Puerto Rico have joined the Rihanna Fenty campaign as a married couple?
Yeah, I heard about this. This is really cute. It's a very femme lesbian couple.
Yes, they are.
They're gorgeous. They're like size 000.
Okay.
And it's cool. I liked it. I'm still waiting for the Home Depot commercial. I think that's
from Rihanna.
No, not from Rihanna. For the lesbians, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you don't think it's just representation? You think it's false advertising? Is what you think it is?
Exactly. Well, what about the U-Haul commercial? That's another demographic that we need to be addressing. But I really like the commercial. Did you get to see it?
I did not see it, but I saw stills of it, and they look gorgeous.
Bitch, it was in the link that you sent
me. Beautiful gowns. I don't watch anything.
It was basically, it was a lot of B-roll. Actually, I think it was like kind of cheap for them to make it because it was a lot of B-roll of their Instagram. Yeah, but they're banking because that's $1 billion company. So
yeah, I love it.
It's not for them.
Yeah, me too. I love that. And I'm so glad that Rihanna is such an ally to the community. She's been showing the LGBTQ community love for so long. And, with her Fenty products and things of that nature, the runway show. And I hope in her everyday life as well. I just love her.
What I like about these two queens is that they go to... This is Miss World, by the way. This is not Miss Universe. So the competition there is a little different.
There's the difference?
No, because in Miss World, they compete by continent first. So you have to beat everybody in your continent. And Puerto Rico and Argentina are, if I believe, sometimes they put it separately, but sometimes they put them together. So what happens, I think, is they both, because they're not Miss Worlds. So obviously they both lost. So they lost.
That was shade, but okay. Thank you, Queen.
I mean, they went to the dressing room.
They're no Miss World, honey, okay?
If they were Miss World, they will say it in the thing. They said clearly Miss Puerto Rico, Miss Argentina. So, yeah. They lost, and then they got together. I mean, that's the best consolation prize. You got to hook up, and then you get to marry to that girl. That's good. It's all good. I love it.
I love it. I love it. And speaking of Rihanna, what did you think of the Super Bowl performance that just happened, that just went down? Because we had to talk about it. I know we're not sports gays, but I don't know. Are you a sports gay, darling?
I'm sport-ish.
Oh.
Like, I like Sporty Spice.
Stop right now. Thank you very much. Yes.
Stop. That's my favorite song, by the way.
Is it really?
Yeah, I love Stop.
Oh,
Stop and Say You'll Be There are my two top Spice Girls songs.
What about Two Become One? I mean, we can probably go down this rabbit hole for a while.
Top 10, but they also only... That's top 10, but they also only have like 20 songs.
Right?
Wait.
But back to Rihanna.
Rihanna. Okay.
Yeah.
You see, we have to keep it.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna start soft, okay? Because I don't want to get canceled in this
podcast. You know, when I was writing my notes, I was like, be careful with Rihanna.
It is Black History Month, and I respect.
Put some respect on that name, okay?
But what I gotta say is, it didn't break my top 3 of favorite performances of the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I thought it was good to mid. It was entertainment. I think it did a job, and I think that's what she wanted. Which is just, I just want to do it. I just wanted them to stop asking me, because she's been asked a couple times before.
Oh, wow. I did not know
that J-Lo really wanted it, and nobody was asking until 2020. I'm just saying.
You better spread that tea, honey. Pour it out.
So, and she was like, you know what? I'm going to do it. I'm pregnant. I'm going to, do a little bit here and there. And... bitch, where's my money? And what she did, which was clever, because
bitch better have my money.
This thing is not paid. She promoted her own makeup thing during.
So smart.
Which, how much did these companies pay for a Super Bowl commercial? Millions of dollars.
$7 million is the last estimate that I saw.
And she just literally did that and got it for free. I mean, she did have to do the performance though, but you know what I mean. That's a good trade. I think that's a good trade.
Oh, yes. I think she's so smart. I agree that it wasn't probably the best Super Bowl performance that I've ever seen. But, I mean, it was pretty great for a pregnant lady. She did the damn thing. The visuals were stunning. And I got everything that I needed, basically. Except for one thing is they could have had more guest performances.
Yeah, that was weird. I think it's JC's not letting them do that. I don't know, because the last one was like all like an ensemble.
Everybody. Yeah, it was great. I love it when people come together.
Yeah, I agree. The thing to me is that after seeing, not to date myself, but after seeing Diana Ross in the Super Bowl, and she was like, you remember the exit when she was just like, where's my ride? And the freaking shopper comes and picks her up in the middle of the stadium, and she leaves. Okay. Like, I don't think you can top that.
Yes. So okay. Well, I gotta go watch that Diana Ross performance. Yes.
I've given you so much homework already. We're 8 minutes in.
They don't even know how much homework you have given me already, because we had a meeting earlier, and I was like, oh, I gotta see that. Oh, I gotta watch this. Oh, I gotta do this. So thank you, Teddy. You always.
I got you, boo. I got you.
I appreciate you. So Silas is in the audience, and he says, in response to your J-Lo comment, he said, the Super Bowl tends to ask singers, which I think is beautiful, Shay. Thank you, Silas.
I'm deceased.
I don't necessarily, I'm not agreeing or disagreeing, but I'm just saying, putting it out there. And Silas also says that Rihanna doesn't need a guest. And I agree. Say that
didn't you realize how many bops she has? Like, just listening to the performance, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a Rihanna song, right? Oh, that's another she has a good roster of hits. I agree.
She put out an album every year for like 11 years, so it's a lot of songs. So I think she's doing all right. Well, moving on,
Okay.
we're going to talk about a pro soccer player, Jakub Jankto. I'm probably ruining his name, and I'm usually the pronunciation queen, but this soccer player just came out as gay. We're going to keep the show a little bit on the sporty spice side to go along with your
Sure.
likes, babe.
Sure.
So Jakub Jankto is the latest professional soccer player to break down the closet door. On Monday,
Mm.
the Czech Republic midfielder shared a video on social media announcing he's gay and expressing his desire to live without fears. He says, like everybody else, I have my strengths, I have my weaknesses, I have my family, I have my friends. And the 27-year-old says, I also have a job which I have passion in doing the best for and the utmost professionalism. Uh, I am condensing it a little bit because those aren't his exact words. So Jankto also currently plays with the Sparta Prague after getting a 1-year loan from Spanish club Getafe. I probably should have did this story because I can't pronounce any of the words.
Well, I mean, the video is really cute, but
Yes.
I think this looks more like a Tinder profile posting. I don't know if you saw it. Like the lighting is really good. This
Okay.
is a white dude, and he's not particularly super attractive, but just like the
Damn. Call him
lighting.
out.
No. I'm not saying that I'm saying that he's
Would
just
you
not
kick
like
him out of
super.
bed, darling?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I mean, he's not Mape. If we're gonna talk about soccer players, Mape is up there. So
I think
that
you
black
said. Is
French
that the
guy.
picture that you sent me?
Yes.
Oh,
But we
yes.
don't really know his sexuality, by the way. So I'm okay
Invite him
with
to the
this.
bed.
I just don't. All of these players keep coming out like kind of like at the end of their careers,
Hmm.
and I'm with it. I'm with it. I wish they would have done a little earlier though. This guy
I
is really
agree.
cute though, and so what the point was is that he's clearly setting up himself for a good swipe on the right and
Oh,
see,
he's
you
getting on
know,
Riot, is what you're saying.
yeah. Definitely, definitely. But what about the
I love
other
it.
NFL guy that you sent me? The
I
Acera
sent
Paulo?
you. Yes, but he's retired, and he was just talking about Carl Nassib and meeting his fiance on Grinder.
Mm,
If that's an interview with QWERTY, if you guys want to go ahead over there and read it, I think it's great. I think it's so lovely that more and more athletes are coming out of the closet. To me, it says that we are making strides in being accepted as gay people and combating toxic masculinity because Jakub actually has the support of his entire team. So I think it's really amazing that he
mhm.
has all that support and that he can come out in this age. Football was a manly game, a manly man's game, and there's room for us in it. So I really appreciate that. Well, did you know that I used to play football?
No way.
In high school, yes, I played it
No
for
way.
I played it for about 1 week, girl. And
So you did like suicides and a little bit of runs for like
I
a
was like, I
week.
could
Oh,
not deal
okay.
with this. Put me in the band, okay?
No.
I
No,
was
he
the
did
tight
not say,
end
I
for
was I played in high school. It was George
I pl-
Santos
I
that
I
shit out
played
of that.
football for one. That's coming up later. That is coming up later. Don't jump ahead, okay?
Because this NFL guy is like 6'4" and 300 pounds. He
Oh,
is
that's what you zeroed in
huge.
on.
Well, it's a lot of meat. I'm just saying, and the guy's yummy as hell. So
You know, he showed his ass on his Instagram. Him and his husband,
did they?
fiance. Yes, I'm gonna
Okay.
send it to you,
I
and we're gonna
mean,
put this on Tags podcast website too. I'm gonna have Steve do it because I don't know how to do all that. It's pressing buttons. I'm good.
do it, do it.
All right, baby. Moving on. This is a very sad story. Two teenagers were arrested on suspicion of fatally stabbing a trans girl. She was 16. So they have been arrested on suspicion of murder following the tragic death of a 16-year-old trans girl in a park in Warrington, England. Brianna from Birchwood was transgender and had been living as a girl for several months. Cheshire police said that there was no evidence to suggest the killing was a hate crime or hate related. According to Cheshire police, a statement on Sunday evening, the boy and girl from the local area, both age 15, have been arrested in connection with the murder and remain in custody. This is just so sad. It's heartbreaking. I posted something last night about taking 2 steps forward and 1 step back. And to me, this is a huge setback for us as a community, because until all of us are safe, then really none of us are safe. The people that don't understand or approve us being who we are will stop at nothing to have us live inauthentically, and we cannot let them win. For all that have come before us, including this beautiful young lady, I hope that she rests in peace, and we have to continue fighting. So rest in peace, sister. What are your thoughts on this tragic?
This is a really sad story, and we were thinking about not having it, but I told you that we really should have.
Yeah.
We have to be honest, and most of the rights that we enjoy as LGBT people is because of the early fights of trans people. And that's important for us to acknowledge. And trans people keep being not safe. Mm-hmm. And this is not here in America. Excuse me. I get a little emotional. This is everywhere. And I was talking to you about privately about, keeping the people that are less privileged than us safe around us. I did have an experience just last weekend where somebody was inquiring about one of my trans friends, but it was just energetically really weird and really strange. Mm-hmm. The way that person was asking me about this trans friend that I have, one of my best friends. So I made sure that person, and then I didn't say anything. And then like a couple hours later, I see that person trying to got my friend's number. So I told her, hey, by the way, this is what's happening. I don't think that person is safe. These are the things that are happening. I think that we should be very, very proactive. In the case of this girl, we don't know what happened, which is really scary. So it's an ongoing investigation, and there's a couple people that have apparently been identified as the perpetrators.
And the people that are accused are so young. So that is something else that's really, really scary.
Yeah, these are kids. These are not even adults yet. So it's even more heartbreaking, because you would think that the younger generation, it's more inclusive and more, understanding of trans people. But apparently there are places where that's still not the case. So we still have to advocate.
Yeah, we just got to keep on fighting. So we'll continue to report on this, and hopefully some justice will be had. Well, moving on to the next story, Club Q, the site of the mass shooting, plans to rebuild its establishment with the goal of reopening in the fall. So this is amazing. According to the statement, the nightclub will work on rebuilding the establishment over the next few months with the intention of opening its doors again in the fall. The initial design concepts are expected to be released soon, and the interior gutting of the establishment will take place in April. With the help of local, state, and federal agencies, the nightclub will add enhanced security measures such as a screening technology and a hardened space to ensure the safety of its workers and patrons. And Club Q says it hopes that these safety measures can become a model for countless queer spaces across the country, which I totally agree with. Aside from the changes to the physical space, Club Q has also added victims of the mass shooting to its management team. Through these positions, the new members will help management with the nightclub's rebuilding efforts and strengthening community relations. How does that sit with you, Teddy?
I have mixed feelings about it, to be honest.
Oh, really?
Just because, here we are, and I celebrate. I like the aspect that they're doing of, making some repairs about like the people that were affected and kind of building it into their community. Mm-hmm. But the fact that they're saying that they're going to reopen with like extra security, just means that we're still not safe, like we were
Yeah.
talking about. So I'm gonna put a pin on that because I think we're getting like super heavy.
Yeah.
On the other side,
Yeah.
I'm happy that they're
But we
all
have to report
reopening.
on these things.
Yeah, I know,
It's
I know, I
something
know.
that we have to talk about. It's a part of our community. So
Yeah.
I felt, and you felt, we were
Hmm.
discussing it yesterday, an obligation to talk about this type of thing. So yeah, I
Exactly.
really appreciate you.
Because sometimes that's literally the only space that queer people have to hang out. Like I mean, we both live in the biggest cities, pretty much, of the United States. So we have the centers, we have the clinics, we have like the little LGBT clubs, like that volleyball. Some places don't have any of
Yeah, it's
that.
true.
So the one thing they have is gay night at one club or that one queer club that is brave enough to be in that city. So these spaces are important, and that's what a lot of people that live in the big cities don't understand. And you and I
Yeah.
have lived in small towns, and we know what we're talking about.
Oh yes, I've lived in Kansas, darling.
Okay, Dorothy.
It doesn't get any smaller than that.
click, click your heels.
So, but I think that this is just another testament to the resiliency of our community. So, uh, I think that a lot of places are actually closing. There's so many places that are closing in New York. So, for them to be opening up, I think of that as a positive sign. And the security measures I look at as a template for the entire community and clubs across the globe, really, because I think
Mhm.
that this is something that can benefit us as queer people, because like you said, we're not there are times that I haven't felt safe in a LGBTQ plus bar. So I think that something needs to be done in order to make sure that we ensure that we are safe in those bars, because there are safe spaces, basically.
Like Eli says, their closest club is 40 miles away.
Wow.
So you see,
Where do you
where are
live,
you, Eli?
Eli?
Like, for example, I am in Hollywood. So West Hollywood is
Okay.
2 miles from me. So I have a lot of privilege in that. There's a ton of the places that I can go. Why is that funny, silly?
No, because I was like 2 miles. Oh my God, that's far.
Stop. I love how people in New York and LA are like, where is that? Oh, 20 minutes away? Hell no, that's so far. You see,
It's
so
so
much
far.
privilege.
I know,
Oh
right?
my
So I
God.
had to check my own privilege, because I can literally walk a mile and
Mhm.
hit a gay bar. So yeah,
Yeah. Are you still in Chelsea?
no, I live in Bushwick now. I'm not giving up my address on this show though.
Oh
So
no, sorry. So
I live in
what
Brooklyn.
are your crossing streets?
Only if you're Grubhub, bitch. Okay, all
Okay, okay.
right. Eli
So
says he lives in Ge-
Girardville.
Girardville, yeah, Pennsylvania, and the closest bar is in Allentown. So I've been to Allentown, and I've been to that
You've been to
bar. I
Allentown?
feel like, because I met a boy in Allentown one
Oh,
time, and and we went out to the bar that was around him. So that's
okay.
cool.
So
That's
you've been
cute.
in Allentown, and Allentown has been in you. Great. Okay.
Ask me about it, okay?
I don't have to.
All right. So moving on, this story right here is the meat and potatoes of our show
Uh
tonight. I
oh.
cannot wait to talk all about this.
Drum
It's
roll, drum
about
roll.
it's the new George Santos documentary that CBS
Mm.
has come out with. It's 22 minutes long, and I am gooped, I am gagged, and Katara Avant, that bitch snatched my wig, goddamn
Mhm.
it. Because CBS came out with this so quickly. It pumped out this documentary detailing his lies and deceit, and also the number of people that he left in his wake. It was crazy. You saw the doc. What did you think?
All right. First of all, it's on YouTube. Everybody should watch this because
Yes.
it's important. First of all, there's a lot of things. If you're a political, you need to know how he got into power because that's really important. However, I'm here for the tea, and the tea is that there's a bunch of interviews with his friends, and basically he left a trail of like unhappy people with him. However,
Uh-huh.
the star of this documentary, the
Okay, tell me all
star
about it.
of this documentary is his former roommate. And I'm using air quotes on roommate because I feel like this roommate, it's kind of like my neighbor Margarita, who had a female roommate and they slept in the same bed because they were really close. And I'm like,
Hmm.
were you roommates? However, I digress. This roommate is like, well, George always wanted to be the life of the party. And he was talking like this,
Oh,
and
I
I'm like,
saw that.
is the roommate gay? And he was like, and then he took a pause and he said, but the worst thing that George ever did to me, he took my Burberry scarf.
I knew what you were gonna say.
And then,
It's so hilarious.
and I just started laughing. And then when the January 6th thing happened, I saw him on the stage with my Burberry scarf. I have nothing else to say. Look,
It
this George
was
Santos,
unhinged. I loved it.
aka Chichi Rodriguez, is a messy, messy, messy queen. And we just need to get rid of him. Are you in his district? Can you vote?
No, Long Island, and
Because
it's
it's
like a
Long Island.
it's really affluent, so I definitely don't live
Yeah.
there.
It's Long Island and a little bit of there's another city there. But yeah, no. What do you think
Yeah,
about the Chichi Rodriguez?
I lived. It was so salacious. I thought I was
Yeah.
watching The Real Housewives.
But this was CBS too, though, which
I
is
know
like
it was so great.
no. But Cody, seriously, just a second. It was not salacious. All of the stuff that they were saying was actually real, which
It's
was
true.
it sounded salacious, but it was real, which makes it even more insane. Go ahead.
Yeah. But I so when I initially saw the documentary, I was like, all of these people came out and they're coming out against him. They just want a piece of the infamy that is surrounding George Santos right now. No. CBS went
Uh-huh.
out to all of these people and made sure they got this story in what 3 months. It's
Yeah.
really amazing the journalistic integrity and their vigilance on finding all of these people that he has just run over his entire life. Your favorite person was the roommate. My favorite person
What's
is
your favorite
Debbie.
person? Debbie. Let's talk about Debbie.
Let's talk about Debbie. Debbie was dodging CBS left and right, honey. She was hiding like she was hiding from the cops, like Jehovah's Witness was coming to her door. It was the best thing I ever seen in my life. They went to Debbie's job. Debbie wasn't there. They went to a meeting Debbie was supposed to be at. Debbie was conveniently absent that day. It was it was the best thing. Miss Debbie, I want to know where you are. I want to know what you're doing. I want to know what you are hiding, Miss Thing. Because
Do you remember Debbie Does Dallas? This one is
yes,
Debbie didn't do anything because she was an MIA.
they went to her house. They knocked on her house.
And it looked like
She
she was there though.
exactly. She was home. All the lights were on. Nobody answered
Girl,
the
the
door,
lights are on.
but no one is home.
CBS is knocking. Xavier says that the story of the scarf is very iconic, and
Yes,
Loki, he's the Milli Vanilli of politics. Love
I
it.
agree. I agree.
But you
And
know what? Milli Vanilli gave their Grammy back, so you need to give your seat back. George
oh my
Santos,
God,
Chichi
it's so
Rodriguez.
true. It's so true because the thing that really jumped out against me at me in this whole thing was that there's no vetting process for Congress, and that's
Mm-mm.
really scary, especially with
Yep.
people like Marjorie Taylor Greene out there running
Mhm.
around, and that just means that any lunatic can be a part of Congress.
Yeah. Well, first of all, he was super lucky because nobody was looking at that seat because that was a Democratic seat. when the redistricting happened, he just happened to be the only Republican candidate, and he won by default. And that's how he just basically was like, he won like the Super Bowl, but not the Super Bowl, like the Lotto, basically. You know, he was just so
the
lucky.
Local lottery.
Yeah. The like the 3 numbers, the one that is just 3 numbers, and you get like $1,000. But it just happens to be the seat of the Congress, and the Congress is super tight right now, and that seat matter a lot.
Yeah.
So
it's true.
I know we were joking, but he did, but like he lied about being Jewish.
Being Jewish.
Apparently, he also said that he was part black, which it could be.
Did he say that?
Yes. He said he's married. Nobody has seen his husband ever. Yeah, we know. The only thing we know for sure is that he's gay, and
he used to be a drag queen.
No. He said he was not a drag queen, which I agree. And
we have photographic evidence. Okay,
no, he's not a drag queen. He's a little Latin boy in a dress. And all the drag queens. All right. I'm not a drag queen, but all the drag queens will agree. And that's a reference for To Wong Fu. Just saying.
I love To Wong Fu. It's one of my favorite movies. We're going to talk a little bit about that later. Hopefully we'll get to it.
If we get to it.
You know what? Also, though, this story kind of reminded me. It's really sad because I used to have a friend that I knew in my gut was lying to me. But the things that he told me about his name, life, George?
I mean, you guys are local to each other.
His name was Katara, okay?
His name was Chichi.
No, well, my friend, I didn't really, like, his lies weren't affecting me. They didn't hurt me. They didn't do anything to, make me feel bad or anything like that. So I let it go by. And then they did start to affect me. And that is when I knew that I could no longer be this person's friend, because the lies that you tell people will always come around and end up biting you in the ass, even if there's somebody that you know. So to all those out there, it's not, you are who you are, and that is enough. And that it just made me feel bad for George Santos a little bit. The documentary did, because the people were like, he has been lying since he's been a kid, basically. So
yeah, because they did go back to his like he lived in Brazil like he scammed some people out of money there too.
Hey guys, your buddy Steve V here, and Valentine's Day is vastly approaching, and you've heard me talk about the guy that I've gone on 3 dates, about to go on a 4th date, and I'm really looking forward to Valentine's Day. I've never been into the holiday that much, but this particular year with this guy, I am. We both love good food. We're going to go to a restaurant, and then we're going to come back at night and continue the party together and make it happen. I'm very excited about this, and to tell you more about what goes on. Valentine's Day can cause a lot of anxiety for so many of us. Believe me, I get it. It's supposed to be like the sexiest day of the year, but I ask you this question. Are you ready? I mean, Roman ready for sex? Intimacy is so important for all of us. I can speak for myself with this new partner that when you are connected with somebody, you have better sex. And better sex means better happiness. Am I right? Roman is here for you because they address a variety of sexual health needs for us men here. Roman offers genuine medication that can help achieve and maintain a strong erection. Roman also offers discreet wipes that help you last up to 4 times longer in bed. And we talk so much about knowing your testosterone levels here at TAGSPodcast. Roman can help you treat low testosterone and help revive your sex drive. Roman has testosterone testing and treatment. The best thing about Roman is everything is online. You don't have to wait in long lines. There's no hassle. Roman sends everything to you right to your door with free shipping. And get this, it's in discreet packaging. So to get ready, and I mean Roman ready for better sex this Valentine's Day, go to ro.co/tags today to get 20% off your entire first order. Do it by February 8th for guaranteed shipping in time. That's ro.co/tags. TAGS.
Yeah.
So many scams. Yeah. Everything that you do in the dark comes to light. So.
Amen.
Bye, Chi-Chi. Bye, Chi-Chi.
Bye, girl. Bye. It's time to resign. And speaking of fake friends, from one fake friend to the next fake friend, MTV's Real Housewives.
Okay, yes, please.
The Real Housewives knockoff, The Real Friends of WeHo, failed to gain any traction in the ratings, falling behind other recent network premieres, including Help, I'm in a Secret Relationship, and Buckhead Shore. When you're behind those two shows, it's time to call it quits, mama. Episode 4 reported a paltry 130,000 viewers, which is a new season low. And this comes on the heels of the announcement that Drag Race will be returning to 90-minute episodes on March 10th. You didn't know? Oh, you didn't know? It's time for a twist, honey.
That means they're getting canceled.
Oh, real? Well, there are only 6 episodes anyway, so I think they're going to let them run out all their episodes that they have recorded. But after that,
and then they're canceled.
Yeah, it's done.
That's what it is.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. You know what? Those C-SPAN has more viewers than the Real Friends of WeHo, and I looked it up, and they do.
Really?
Yes. People watch more C-SPANs, which I'm actually glad that that's true. But on the other hand, and what do you think that is? Because my theory is that LGBT community, it's not a culture on itself. It's a culture within a culture, right? Because there's LGBT people in all the cultures. Even if they're not acknowledged, there's Asian LGBT people, Black LGBT people, MENA LGBT people. And I think because the purpose of the show was to be like a gay show.
Yeah.
Nobody was gonna be happy because nobody there's not a representation of everything, right? And then people don't like Todrick for some reason. I actually don't mind Todrick.
Me either.
No, and let's talk about that. They keep saying that he doesn't pay his dancers, and being from the business, I know those gigs are not paid. Everything you see on YouTube, pretty much 90% of that stuff is not paid because the influencer don't have that kind of money. They don't have studio money. So if they have 20 dancers, trust me, he's not paying not even $100 per dancer because that's $2,000.
Wow. Yeah.
That's just
I hear you. I don't think that Todrick, I think that what happened with Todrick was he went on Big Brother and he played, have you seen that? His season of Big Brother? Oh my God. It is amazing. Todrick is the best thing on that season, but because he's so catty and conniving. It's a great season. So I think that he got a lot of backlash because of that. And then the non-payment things, I'm sure they did not help.
Do you think it's because, pardon the interruption, do you think it's because you don't think that I said gay men that are slightly femme, that we're not palatable yet to the mainstream? Because I feel like that's something that people have very visceral reactions to.
Well,
what do you think?
I don't think that is necessarily the case. I think that could be a part of it, honestly. But I do think that the majority of it is that we as gay people are tired of seeing one specific type of gay person. The people like the people on The Real Friends of WeHo and the people on the Bros movie, that we as a community are just, we've seen that so many times, and we are kind of tired of seeing that pushed constantly. I think that we as a community are so expansive, and we need to be showing more aspects of our community than what we've been showing, basically.
So it's interesting that everybody in that show, the real friends of WeHo, quote unquote,
and they're not friends. I think that is part of it too.
They're not friends or from WeHo, because none of them will live there. But okay, I saw the casting for that show, and
You
they
did?
were. Oh yeah, I have an agent. I see most of the castings.
Okay.
And
Give me one too.
Okay. Let's give you an agent. You can totally get an agent. Let's talk about it offline for sure. But he's laughing.
The pause. You're laughing at the pause before okay. You were like, okay.
There's a delay.
Oh, there's a delay. Oh, okay. All right. Cool.
I'm listening to you, boo. No, but in all seriousness, the how they marketed for the general public, of actors, was like this was going to be a dating show, and they had specifics about age, and they have specifics about even, they don't say weight because casting don't say weight, but they will say words like aspirational. If you see something that says aspirational, that means that you have to be skinny or muscular.
What?
So you don't see. Is there any bears in there? Is there any older people in there?
See?
Like non-binary, like all of those the things are kind of concerning. So yeah, I'm not surprised that the show hasn't done well, because I don't think people want to see, like, I don't know what their demographic is. Like, to be honest, it's definitely not the LGBT community, because they were really forceful about like, yeah, we don't like this.
They were done.
And drag shows.
When you can't retain Drag Race's audience, that means that there is something intrinsically wrong with your show. So, you know what? I think that the story that they were trying to push as far as Curtis was concerned was their one redeeming quality. And, you know, after that went away, or they kind of, it subsided a little bit. I think that the people got to really see what this show was going to be about, and they weren't here for it. So, yeah, it's really
very little thing I saw, which I was like half an episode. I saw there was a lot of we call that like product placement, when people are mentioning their products. I'm like, bitch, you've been on the air like 3 episodes and you're already pushing your shit. Like, usually you wait like at least a season and pretend you're there for the art, right?
Yeah.
And then you start doing your product placement. So yeah.
It's
bye,
sad.
Girl, bye.
Goodbye, girl, bye. Eli says that also cutting into Drag Race's time did not help. So, and I agree with that, because I need my 90 minutes of Drag Race, no matter what. You spoiled me, VH1, and I need my 90 minutes because that's my favorite show.
So. I wonder what the leading it was, which means the leading means how many viewerships are right when the show is ending, the Drag Race, and then WeHo was up right after, you said?
Yeah.
So that's a number that the network really watches.
Oh, the lead-in number?
Is. And then if it drops too much, it will always drop. It will always drop, especially if it's like a big hit show. But you don't want it to drop too much. You always want something that keeps. Yeah.
So this article that I'm looking at says Drag Race had 578,000 live viewers.
Okay, so their drop-off was like
math
60 or 70% of the people left.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not good at math. I can't tell you.
I am. I am.
You are?
I'm telling you.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
We're going to call you when math needs to be done because Steve and I
This
are
is
not.
simple math. 60 to 70% of the people left the show.
Oh, well, thank you, baby genius. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. I'm not only pretty, I'm really smart. And if you never see me, just assume that I'm really gorgeous.
Oh, you are. You are so gorgeous. And you're so smart, darling. Thank you so much. So, moving on, we have some Reddits to read now. Are you ready for the Reddits? This is one of my favorite parts of the show. The first Reddit I'm going to read is When Preferences Go Wrong. So this writer says, let me start by saying I was called racist names this weekend after politely explaining to someone when their profile is filled with preferences that they should stick to those preferences or not have them here at all. I read his profile and responded after reading it. I was clearly not what he was looking for as per his profile, and I couldn't possibly fit into the category he was looking for. I let him know that. He was basically upset because he didn't want to, because the writer did not want to entertain the person whose profile had all the preferences in it. He could message the person that had the preferences could message whomever they like, but only his preferences could message him, which is very selfish, in my opinion. Okay. What are your experiences with preferences, and what do you think about what this Reddit writer in has to say?
Okay. This is a little convoluted, but
go ahead. Let's dive in
a little bit. This is the thing. Usually, when somebody has a lot of preferences, there's a lot of isms with that. I've noticed. And that's pretty much the general experience of most of the people that I hang out with, which are mostly BIPOC, but I do have white friends as well. And when somebody's too much preferences, they will always get into, oh, I prefer this race. Oh, I prefer this type of body. Oh, I prefer... And that's just shit straight up weird and bad because you're in a dating site and it's all about the numbers. It's all about, getting to know people, see if you vibe and things. And if you have a hard no on race and you don't think that's racist, that's a problem. And just the fact that you're like, if you're this race, don't email me, but if I email you, answer me. Yeah. What is that fuckery right there?
The privilege, it's just crazy to me because the entitlement is insane. It's so above and beyond the scope of any realistic expectations of how you should be treating a people. I used to block guys with racial or any type of phobic experiences on site. As soon as I saw them, I'd be like, oh, this person is not for me. And if they hit me up, I would never answer them. They would be blocked. There are too many beautiful people out there of all races, all genders, all sizes. The list can go on and on and on. And I'm open. I was, before I had a boyfriend, I used to be open to dating all of them. As long as I found you attractive, then that was the thing that mattered most. And Grindr is so full of toxicity. So it's just ridiculous to me. So people need to get off their high horse and realize that there's so much beauty out there in the world, and we should really be appreciating that beauty.
Yeah. And it's weird. Also, if I were on the other side, which I've been a couple of times where somebody's like, oh, I usually don't go for Latino guys. And I'm like, oh, no, we're not doing this. Like, that's an automatic block.
Block, yes.
I'm like, are you going to start calling me names later? Like, no. And
not they on will. Today.
You know they will.
Oh, you know they will. I used to have a friend, and I use air quotes for this friend. I have another friend. I got all the friends, girl.
Stevie.
No, not Stevie. That's my boo. We miss you, Stevie.
I know. Oh, hello, everybody. This is Teddy filling in for Stevie. And
Oh,
Kodi.
thank you.
Stevie's out for the day. He'll be back.
Yes. Thank you so much. You're Kodi today, and I'm Stevie. Are we gonna call each other Kodi and Stevie now?
We're flip-flopping. Look at us.
Who would have known? Who would have known you were versatile? Anyway.
Hashtag or really.
So I had
honey, these days.
I know, right? All the bottoms in LA, girl. You got to do what you got to do.
You gotta do what you gotta do.
Anyway, that was a joke, everybody. So I had a friend, and we were on Grindr at the same time. We were at this beautiful rooftop, right? Mm-hmm. This is when I was single, of course. And he saw a trans person on Grindr, and he called that trans person everything but a child of God. He was like, why is this trans person on here? This should just be for cisgendered gay men, blah, 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 on and on. It was just ridiculous. I politely but curtly gathered his edges and said to him, if you don't like them, just don't message them or block them, okay? They are on this app for the same reason that you are, to get some dick. And if you don't want it, or someone else will want it, okay? That's why they're on this app. So, in conclusion, life is just too damn short to be spouting all that negativity out here on God's internet.
Why was that
Beyonce's internet.
Amen. Why is that their business?
I don't know. It was ridiculous. And I just could not understand it. And I had to let him know that it was not something that I was here for and that I would stand for. And I think that I'm not the epitome of, someone who will always stand up for something that is right, because I have my faults as well. But I think that if more people stood up for people that are less, I don't know, that they are more susceptible to being othered.
Less privilege.
Yes, exactly. Thank you very much. Then I think that the world will be a much better place. So
exactly. I teach a multiculturalism class, and
okay.
I used to teach the first time I taught it was 10 years ago, and I used to teach it from the perspective of just like seeing the not inclusion and the misrepresentation of people. But now I teach it as allyship, because I think first of all, it's easier to teach, and it's also, it teaches people, because a lot of people, just because they belong to certain intersectionality, especially us as cisgender gay men, we have a lot of privilege that sometimes we don't use it, or we don't even know that we have it. And like, no, there's less privileged people that we need to protect. And if we do that, we then can be protected ourselves. But if we're not even protecting the less privileged and then want other people to protect us, we cannot come to the game with no morality, I think. And I'm glad that now Grindr has a trans filter. So now trans people can find each other.
That's so lovely. I didn't know that.
Yeah. If that's what they're into. I told you a couple of my best friends are trans, so I'm all up until what they need and all that stuff. But also, there's a lot of toxicity there. When they get in, they're like, their stuff blow up, but it's a lot of like people just fetishizing them and just like so. There's a trade-off, but at the same time, they have made connections through that. So we have to be aware of that.
Yeah, you got to take the good with the bad sometimes, unfortunately. But look, people need to be more open and honest. And just, if you love it, then you love it. Then if you don't, you don't, basically. All right.
Kodi, amen.
I'm on here preaching tonight.
Kodi over here.
I mean, if I could have a church, I could be rich. Anyway, moving right along. We're going to go to the one Reddits before we do the LGBTQ films. That's okay with you? Cool. So I'm going to go to, do you stop yourself from coming during sex or just let it happen when it happens. So this writer writes in, top, bottom, getting head, whatever applies to you. What is your answer? Answer, Teddy Alexis Rodriguez.
If people are just coming, that's a problem. This is the metaphor. This is the metaphor I use. You don't want to be a Disneyland ride.
Oh,
meaning you don't want to be waiting for 2 hours and have a ride of 3 minutes. You know what I mean? So if you're bottoming or somebody's bottoming for you, there's a lot of prep that comes with that. So you should be aiming for something that is equitable, but we're talking about equity, time that is equitable to that. Okay.
I am so here for this discussion. So, okay, so you're speaking specifically of the top, right? Coming before the bottom is satisfied.
Well, I mean, I feel like if the bottom is not hard, we can still do some stuff. But if the top is not hard, you enlighten me where you're going with this.
No, because it's my goal as a top to make the bottom come. And it can happen in 5 minutes. It can happen in 3 hours, but that is my main. Okay, answer. What you got for me?
So if your bottom, your generic bottom comes in 5 minutes, then it's over.
Not generic. She's in the other room right now.
We're not talking about Joe. We're just talking about in general. Let's not get too specific, please, because I know Joe. I don't want to get in trouble.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. Let's take Joe out of the equation. I don't know if I can take Joe out of the equation. No, I might get into trouble. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Girl, you haven't been with him for a long time. Like this talk about before that.
Huh?
But before that.
Okay, I'm going to go back in time now. Okay, I'm going to answer this from a place of.
Girl, don't be so dramatic. Oh my God.
I told you I'm bad at math. Of 2019. I'm going back to 2019, Kodi. There we go. See, look at that quick math right there. I'm a genius. Right. Go. What was your question, darling?
So my question is, this bottom, you're gonna hang out. You start doing the deed. So when you start counting the time, that's what I'm curious about. It said the penetration.
The points of insertion, darling.
Okay. So you insert, and then, this is already so funny. All right, and 4 minutes and a half, your bottom ejaculates.
Okay.
What happens?
I pat myself on the back for making him come in 4 minutes.
And that's it? That's the encounter?
And then oh my God. I make him show me his ass until I come, basically.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's what I do. And 2019 Kodi, that worked for him. That doesn't work for me now, basically.
Okay, so you do that's interesting because the question is not really that. The question is, do you come whenever you feel like it or you stop?
The answer is no. I do not come whenever I feel like it. I have learned to. Sting taught me all about tantric sex, and it is something that I have harnessed, that I have tried to perfect, and I like to extend my pleasure as far as sex is concerned, like for the last hours and hours and hours. And I think I'm being a little bit too forthcoming right now.
I don't know why LA got so hot right now. It's a heat wave coming.
Oh, you know why.
Oh my goodness.
No, it was, I like to have sex for a long time. Basically.
That's a great question. That's a great answer. I do want to recommend to the people listening to 2019 Kodi though, that probably that bottom wants another round. So I'm just saying.
Hey, Oh man, 2019 Kodi would say, "Call me," but 2023 Kodi says, "I got a man."
So who are these people that are just like feeling it and just coming? That's not nice. I don't think. But people do that. I know. It's
Yeah.
happened. It's happened to all of us.
Yeah. How long do you think sex should last?
Now that I'm older, sex is kind of like an event for me. It's not something that I do as casual anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Not because I don't want to, it's because I don't have the time,
Mm-hmm.
to be honest. So, I try to make it as long as as we can,
All right.
It's an event. It's special. Let's keep exploring. I did have a good Christmas. That's all I can say. So,
oh my goodness. Oh man. All right, Teddy. So we're gonna do. You're an actor, so
okay.
we are gonna go into, because I think that a lot of people don't know what good films are out there as far as gay films are concerned. We're gonna
Oh.
go one and one, and we're gonna say what our favorite gay films are. And you're going to
Okay.
start because you're my beautiful special guest.
Oh, thank you for the beautiful. I love Bad Education, which the title in Spanish is Mala Educación. The
Oh,
writer-director
beautiful.
is
Yes.
Pedro Almodóvar, Spanish, as in Spanish from
Okay.
Spain. And
I
I love
know it,
that
yes.
story because it's kind of messy a little bit, and it tells the story for this gay couple from when they were like in elementary school all the way till they were adults, and there's a huge twist at the end,
Ooh.
and it's very cinematic, and obviously it's gorgeous. It won an Oscar for best writing, so that's one of my favorite movies. And Almodovar is one of the writers that I try to emulate in my own writing. Which, if you're interested to see any of my writing, I am in downtown LA doing Daddy Date, my one act in the Frida Kahlo Festival for 4 weekends starting next weekend. Not this
You
weekend.
better
Next
plug
weekend.
it. You better plug it, girl. Plug it all the way
It's
up.
been plugged. It's been plugged. What is
So
yours?
for my favorite, I'm slurring a little bit now. I had too much to drink. I'm gonna go with Moonlight, because not only is it a beautiful love story about growing up gay and not feeling like you can express those feelings, but also because it's such a beautiful depiction of Black gay love, which is so underrepresented in today's society. So that was my choice.
You went super fancy because that movie won Best Picture.
Did she? I have good
Yeah.
taste. Oh my god.
Okay. That's a really good movie.
It is so good.
Are we gonna do two more?
And yours is really good too. Yours is a very fancy movie too. So we both went fancy. Another one of my favorites.
When you go European, it's fancy.
Hello. There it is right there. Another one of my favorites was Tu Wong Fu. And I know you have another.
Love Tu Wong Fu. And since we're going camp, I like all the Eating Out saga. I don't know.
Oh my god, me too. Stop it.
If I just need like a little bit of wine, Doritos, and like a sofa, I'm just like all good to watch those movies and just listen to the funny writing of that. And it's not great, but it's really funny.
It's not great, but it is great. It's everything I need in that moment, basically.
Exactly.
And just like every week, we're going to finish up with a thirst trap. Okay, this is when we Straight Up Gay Porn releases their thirst traps of the week, and we get to vote on them on straightupgayporn.com, the thirst trap recap for the week. And our job as an audio podcast is to descriptively describe. I'm a little bit drunk. And descriptively describe your favorite and why it's your favorite. So I'll let you go first.
So my favorite is let me see the name really fast. It's Jake Hart, and the reason is because this guy is really impressive, and he's impressive in terms of range, because it's not that he's girthy, but it's that he is very long, and I never seen something that long before. And in terms of, he's just like a skater, kind of like simple white guy, but
Okay.
he's longboarding.
That is
So,
not what I thought you were going to pick. I
what do you
love
think?
it.
What do you think I was gonna pick? I'm curious now.
I thought you were going to pick. I'm not quite. Oh, I thought you were going to pick Damian Knight or Sean Xavier, who are both beautiful, by the way.
I thought you were gonna say Silas, because I always like Silas. I'm just manifesting. Silas. Who's your favorite?
My favorite is Sean Ford, and he's lying on a bed with his cock in his hand. The sun is glistening off of his skin. He's got one arm raised so you can see that his sexy armpit. But the best thing is that look that's on his face. His eyes are rolled back in his head, and that is the exact look that I try and make my bottoms have. So
I know
that's why he's my favorite.
Rolling your eyes.
Oh yes.
That's a cute boy right
there. And he is adorable. So
he has that curly white boy hair too.
I love it. I love all of it. I'm sorry. I think he's very attractive.
Right. From a distance.
From a distance, exactly. Xavier agrees with me. He says, Sean Ford, because I can always play with his curly hair if one of us comes early. And I agree with you, Xavier.
I'm just showing my curly hair right there.
There it is, Xavier. You can play with Teddy's curly hair.
I'm single, Pisces. I'm willing to travel too.
Hey, cute. I love it. Come on, Silver Lake. Anyway, so
I am not in Silver Lake, bitch.
No, I'm saying you're going to Silver Lake because you're traveling.
Okay.
Yeah. Teddy, thank you so much for being my special guest host this week. You have been lovely, darling. Tell the people where they can find you on all your socials, and plug anything else besides Daddy Date, which we know is a play in downtown LA, that you want to plug.
Well, first of all, thank you. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Such a pleasure. I've been so excited about this. So thank you,
baby. Likewise.
If anybody wants to find me, my website is teddyrodriguez.com. That's all my socials are there. All of my socials are open. So you can DM me or whatever you need. Also, you can see some of my short films on my YouTube. I'm right now moving Mega Grinder, which is also available on YouTube. We're doing a mini festival run, so you can learn about that there too.
Fabulous. And you heard it here. He is open. So yes, you can follow the show at TAGSPodcast, and you can follow me. I'm a life coach at KMD Coaching. And if you want some spicy content, you can follow me on Mr. MISTAH Maurice, MAURICE. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, we'll see you next week, and have a great night.